exciting episode of
The Powerpuff Girls. Right?
Netflix
What was
Club.
it? Oh. We're watching the... Never mind. Okay. So today we watched episode 4. I'm not really sure what episode we're supposed to be on, but that's what episode we just finished watching. And it was every, Powerpuff Girls episode has 2. And the first one is about, like, this green group of people. What are they called?
The Gangrene Gang.
The Gangrene Gang. And, of course, by the name you know that they're all green. And apparently they're like bullies. They're like a large group of bullies. And the Powerpuff Girls, they do their thing and they set out to get them. And one of the Powerpuff Girls, I won't tell you who, gets a crush on them and it leads to complications.
The episode was interesting. I felt like it was written to where it was a developing story rather than here's some stuff, go for it. It's definitely different from Fuzzy Logic, which was the second part of that episode.
Yeah, the main character in that episode it looked like a caterpillar thing, but it had pink fur. But he was, like, shooting things that, like, I don't know, like, he was sitting on the porch, he shot a butterfly, and, like, what else did he shoot? He shot something else.
He would shoot anything that got on his property, regardless of what it was.
Yeah, like a butterfly, like, who does that? I mean, and he looked like a caterpillar, so that's kind of bad to shoot a butterfly if it's one of your own kind. But anyways, that episode is good. It was about, I got lost in, like, the town somehow got destroyed, and then one of the Powerpuff Girls was talking to a squirrel, and, like, somehow they...
Okay, so with this episode, Fuzzy Lumpkins, who was played by Jim J. Cummins, he was a character who was essentially a hillbilly monster who would attack anything that interfered with his property. Somehow or another, he ends up in the city, and people keep messing with his stuff. At one point, he, like, drops his hat, and a police officer, like, picks it up and is like, "Is this your hat?" And he, like, beats the officer. So if you touch his property, regardless of if it's his land or his possessions, he'll just go off on you.
You can definitely tell, though, now this isn't about the content, but you can definitely tell when watching the Powerpuff Girls, you can see the programming of the show. I love it, because it's, like, from the 90s. Like, you can just tell, like, if you were to watch a modern show, like the new way they messed up Scooby-Doo, the programming is different. But you can tell in the Powerpuff Girls it's from the 90s, which I love. That was just something I was gonna say.
Speaking of which, have you heard the news?
The news about...
Powerpuff Girls is getting rebooted, and the original cast was not talked to. So,
what?
Yeah, they didn't even know it was a thing until after it was announced. Brand new voice actors for each of the Powerpuff Girls, and a new animation style.
That's awful. Why are they... Ugh. Cartoon Network needs to stop messing with all the good shows that they had and redoing them. Like, Scooby-Doo, the good ones are the ones from the 70s, and then, like, the early 2000s, and now they've just ruined it. Like, I can't even watch the new ones. Like, they just upset me so much. And then, that's terrible. I didn't know that. I wish... Why are they doing that? Cartoon Network is not going to make any money off of something that's awful.
I disagree. Not with the money thing, but, like, with the content. I do not like old Scooby-Doo.
What?
Like,
Oh my God.
I cannot get into old Scooby-Doo. The best one so far has been...
He just said that.
I
Like,
know.
what? Oh my gosh.
The best one so far is Mystery Incorporated, which is the one that came out...
I hate that one.
Before the latest one. That one had, like, a deep story arc. It went over a lot of lore. Their mysteries were, like, rather good, and you were able to, like, see what they were doing.
Well, the content of Scooby-Doo may be still good, but the animation is what bothers me because, like, I grew up with the older ones, and, like, now they're changing it, and I guess maybe it's a perception thing. Like, I don't really like change.
That was above.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe it's how
What's going on in room 507?
Is that the room above us?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that people talk about? Like, all that stuff goes on in there?
They don't suck dick. It's just a yik yak thing.
Oh. I mean, I don't know, because I don't live on campus. I just heard stories about room 507. My earring is stuck to it. Okay.
Curious about room 507? Post in the comment section below. Let's see. So.
Or come live at UAH and see all the stuff that goes on in the dorm.
What was I thinking about? Oh yeah. So that means you have heard nothing about the Powerpuff Girls reboot. How do you feel about Powerpuff Girls Z, which came out like way before this reboot thing's gonna happen?
I've never heard of that either.
Okay. Have you heard of Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Okay, Powerpuff Girls Z. This happened a few years ago. They took Powerpuff Girls and they made them like an anime style. So they made it kind of like a Japanese cartoon.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I'm going to pull up an image for Hannah to see. Okay, it's loading. I think Powerpuff Girls Z,
oh my gosh, they made them Japanese. Why? That's awful. Why would they do that? Oh my gosh. Cartoon Network, you're ruining my childhood. It used to be great, and now you're changing all these shows.
Okay, so.
That's ridiculous. I wouldn't watch that.
You wouldn't watch that?
No.
Okay, why wouldn't you watch that?
It doesn't look interesting. They all look Chinese and Pokemon-ish, and I just don't really like Pokemon. And they look Japanese. Like, why? Look at that. And they're taller now. They're not like, they don't look normal. Like, they're not supposed to be like fully sized girls. They're supposed to be like this small. Like, oh my gosh, that is. Why? Oh my god.
Okay, so that's Powerpuff Girls Z, and that happened a while ago. Okay, so.
I'm happy I never heard about that.
Here's Powerpuff Girls. They're doing a reboot. And the new images look like this. This is how Powerpuff Girls are going to be. What do you think?
You can't really tell much of a difference. But I don't know, like, why would they change, why wouldn't they get the original cast back? That doesn't make sense.
The original cast were kind of hurt because they weren't even talked to about it.
Exactly, yeah, I'd be mad too if I was, like, okay, like, our YouTube thing right now, if someone in the future was to start another Netflix club, and then, that's like if they were just to ignore us, like we never existed, like, that's awful. I would be upset.
It's not ignoring.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with taking a new spin or a new approach. If it's the same thing is when it gets on my nerves. Oh, by the way, so that we don't run out of Wi-Fi, let's make this multiple ports. So you guys stay tuned for
more content.
Welcome
Hi,
back.
YouTubers.
Okay, so we were talking about shows and how they get rebooted and our feelings about them.
I personally, okay, maybe it's not a bad thing for spin-offs, but I don't know, like, I guess it depends what it is for me. Like Scooby-Doo and Powerpuff Girls and all the shows I grew up with, like, or that I watched as a child, I don't think they should change the way that they were animated. Like, I understand, like, the whole voices thing, because, like, some of the Scooby-Doo characters, like, the original voices, like, I think Casey Kasem passed away, and so, like, they can't have his voice now because he's dead. So, like, the voice thing, I mean, I guess if they're dead or they don't want to participate, then they have to replace him, but it's not the same. I don't know. But, like, movies, like, that's hard to explain. Like, if I was to watch a movie and then I thought it was great, and I was like, oh my gosh, they should make another one but change one thing, and then they did it, like, they made a new movie, but it had, like, the same people, they just maybe did something different, like, that would be cool. Like, as long as the original, I don't think anyone should lose sight of the original work. That's how I feel.
Well, I mean, clearly they haven't, or else they wouldn't be able to reboot it, right?
Oh, I know, but
Because
they're changing it.
But that's the point. I wouldn't want to see the same thing a second time. That's my main thing. Like, if you redo a show, you shouldn't just change the way it looks, but it be the same show. Like, if you're gonna redo it, you should, like, commit and redo it.
Yeah, if they just change the way. That's like with the new Scooby-Doo, like, the Mystery Incorporated, I don't like it. I think the characters look fake, and maybe, I mean, like you said, you like it. So, I mean, I'm not saying, like, I don't know, I love the Where Are You so much, and so, like, I never when they came out with a new one, I was so upset to see how much they changed the way they looked.
Okay. So, I'm gonna pull up images of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
I actually have a poster of them that someone got me for Christmas because they know I love Scooby-Doo, and they didn't know I didn't like the Incorporated, which it fell behind my bed, and I haven't really got it out yet. See,
Why do you not like it?
Look at their faces.
That is so close to the original.
No, look how tiny they are. Look at Fred. Look at his itty bitty. He has like dots like this. And look, okay, their outfits are the same, but their faces don't look the same. Look at Velma, like her. Oh, I just don't like the way they look. Like the mysteries maybe still good. Like, I mean, I don't watch that one because I can't stand the way they look now. But like, because I love the original. Like I love the original.
This is so close and so not different.
No. Okay, if you like anybody who's watching, if you don't like the original and then you see the new version and you feel differently, well, I mean, that's your opinion. Like, I'm not bashing your opinion. I just think like the original is better, but that's just me.
Like,
oh, my eye itches.
It's fine that you like the original more. I prefer Mystery Incorporated for the story, but I feel like you saying, "Oh man, this is so different looking from the original." It is for me. Compared to like
their eyes, they look like this.
Current Scooby-Doo, like what they're doing right now. That's ridiculous, like when it comes to comparing it to the original characters.
I know, my brother showed me that the other night, and he said he recorded it for me. He was like, I recorded you something. And so I thought he was being nice. Well, I go to look. He did it as a joke because he knows I hate the new Scooby-Doos. And they just, they look.
I mean, they did it in
look
the
at them.
Yeah, they did it in the Family Guy style, and they don't look the same at all. This is significantly different. And that, I can, for Be Cool Scooby-Doo, that's what it's called. For Be Cool Scooby-Doo, you could say, yeah, this is really, really different. This looks totally different, and it's written very differently. And you can look at it and say, wow, you know,
okay, well,
that's not my Scooby-Doo.
I will say this one I hate more than the Incorporated one, if that makes any difference. But I still don't, like, okay, I wouldn't watch Mystery Incorporated. Like, I love Scooby-Doo, and I always have. So, like, even though they come out with the new ones, even though I hate the new ones, I'm still always going to love Scooby-Doo. Like, that's not going to change, because that's one of my favorite cartoons. I wish they had that on Netflix, because we'd be doing that next, but they don't.
I don't think you should hate them based on how they look. It should be how they're written.
Well, no, but, okay. Now, that makes me sound like a bad person. I'm
not a bad person. It's just
I'm
like...
not judging the characters on it looks. I just think, like, I can't watch it and be like, oh, this is Scooby-Doo. Like, I love this show, like, because they look different.
Well,
like,
they all have different names. So if you wanted to, like, try them out and you feel like, I can't, it's not Scooby-Doo, then the latest one's called Be Cool Scooby-Doo.
That one really
so
looks fake.
You could be like, I'm going to watch Be Cool. Or if you want to watch Mystery Incorporated, call it Mystery Incorporated, not Scooby-Doo. Like, whatever makes you feel better about watching it. But it seems like the only reason why you don't want to watch it is because it looks weird. You're like,
because they're not the characters. Okay, but anyways, in regards to how we feel about animated shows, Netflix Club is awesome. We have been really busy doing college things. If you're going to go here to UAH, you might want to get all the sleep and anything fun you want to do in now, because you won't have time for it at all.
You have plenty of time for sleep and fun. Just make sure you study.
Well, I don't have any time for sleep or anything fun. But Nick here, he is like awesome. Like he's Superman. Like he can do all this stuff in one day, and I'm like, I don't have any energy or anything. The college is rough.
Now, were you a Ben 10 fan at all?
Ben 10?
Yeah.
I love that show.
Okay. This got me fucked up. Ben 10 is being rebooted.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I heard about this at the same time as I heard about the Powerpuff Girls one. But Ben 10's starting all the way back to where he was 10 years old. They're changing the way it looks, and they're going to change his original set of aliens to where it's like a set of fan favorites and then like a few new aliens that he's going to get.
Cartoon Network, you're ruining my childhood. Me and my brother used to watch Ben 10 during the summers, like between school years. Like, my brother and I, he's 13, and, you know, teenagers, they're irritable and irrational, at least my brother is, and, like, we never agreed on anything, but, like, when I was in school and he was in school, during the summers, we would watch Ben 10 every morning, like, because he liked that show, and I got into it, and I thought it was awesome, and then I guess it just bothers me to hear they're changing all of the shows that I watched as a kid. That's kind of like, which just goes off topic a little bit, but that's kind of like the shows my mom watched when she was a kid. Like there's some of them that she watched that I like Saved by the Bell. There's one other one, like, I can't think of the name of it right now, but like shows that came out like when she was a child, like, they don't really air them anymore, but if you find them online, like, I love Doogie Howser. I love that show so much. It was in the 90s, so, like, shows like that, like if they were to do a spin-off on those now, like, all the characters would be older, so, like, they'd have to look different. But, like, on the animated shows, they don't have to look different. They just want to change it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, older shows,
yeah.
We're splitting it.
Stay tuned for
more content.
So hey guys, where Hannah was leaving off, she was talking about how for actual shows that she used to watch with her mom back in the day, those shows would now have older cast members.
Yeah, because if you do a spin-off, like I mentioned Doogie Howser, that show is awesome, but it starred Neil Patrick Harris when he was like a teenager, or like maybe even a little bit younger, and now he's like in his 30s or 40s. So like if they were to do a spin-off with him still starring, it's the same person, but he would look different because all the cast has aged, and some of them are probably dead because there were some older people in the show when in the 90s, so I don't even know who else is still alive, but I know he is, but like, and I was basically saying, like, with animated shows, since they're animated, the voices of people, you know, as long as they're still alive, they don't have to change the appearance of the show, they just do it to make it a spin-off. Does that make sense? Like,
I mean, I understand why you wouldn't want it to all look the same. And it's just because
maybe I hate change, that's what it is. You
want to, like, make it your own kind of thing. Some people don't like the American Dragon Jake Long thing. You remember that?
No.
Okay, he's cool, he's hot like a frozen sun. He's young, he's fast, he's the chosen one. People were not bragging. Dum, 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 dum. He's the American Dragon. I'm pulling up an image.
That. Maybe I never watched that.
He's gonna stop his enemies with his dragon power.
Oh, he looked familiar. But okay. I never watched that show, but I remember seeing that.
So...
Oh, don't tell me they did a spin-off on this too.
They didn't do a spin-off of it, but there's a change between the seasons and the art style. Okay, so this is the first season, how he used to look, and this is how he looks in the second season. And I'll show you a better side-by-side picture. First season, second season. Like, they did a complete overhaul on how he looks.
Well, see, and that's another thing. If they make, like, itty-bitty changes that you can, I don't want to say barely notice, but, like, I feel like to successfully spin off, maybe successfully, little changes, like, I don't know, that may sound weird, but, like, if you're doing a spin-off on a show and you, like, change one itty-bitty thing that people barely notice, and then you gradually do it, and then, like, everyone notices it as a whole, maybe that wouldn't be as bad as if it was changed all at once. I don't know.
Both happen all the time.
But then again, I can't really say anything because I never watched this, so I can't really say that, oh yeah, that looks fake. I mean, I never watched this.
How different is this to you from this? These two images?
Well, his outfit's changed. I mean, he's wearing different shoes and shorts. He looks older in the one on the right. But that's just me. See,
the thing that I find interesting about this is that if you've watched American Dragon Season 1 and Season 2, you know that these are completely different drawing styles. Like, it's not that he's wearing different clothes. He entirely, is being drawn differently.
I mean, yeah, it looks, they're the same color and everything. It just, well, yeah, I guess it looks differently, but I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I never watched this one, but...
See, what I'm saying is
I feel like someone who watched this and they didn't like change, they wouldn't like the art changes either.
Now, what about, how do you feel about Ben 10 versus Ben 10 Alien Force?
Oh, let me see the difference. 'Cause
Okay.
I haven't watched that show in years.
Yeah, here we go. So, these are, I think, all the different Ben 10s.
I think I've seen up to where he was a teenager, like from that one on. I haven't seen those.
Yeah. Okay, so
I remember watching him when he was younger, and then when he was a teenager, and then that was like all that we ever watched.
if only there was like a picture where you could see like all the different shows right next to each other. But essentially, Ben 10's animation style has changed 3 times. That's how Ben looks in Omniverse. A matter of fact, I'll just type in the show names and I'll just show you. You know what original series Ben looks like, so you don't have to see that. And then you know what Alien Force Ben looks like. He looks like this, which is a big step. This is really different from the original series.
Yeah, he does look different.
Ultimate Alien, that one wasn't a big step, but Omniverse was the next big step, where Ben looks really different.
Oh, he does. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why?
So,
See, that's probably why we never watched that one. My brother and I, like, our bonding time is pretty much watching shows that we can both agree on, and mostly the shows that he wants to watch are like right now his thing is Jurassic Park, but like I feel like I notice more the changes than he does, and so like if we're watching a show and I'll be like, oh my gosh, what is that?
I just pulled up a picture. This is rebooted Ben 10. This is how he's going
He
to
looks
look
like a 5-year-old.
when they start over the show. Well, he's going to be 10. This is...
But he looks like
going...
a 5-year-old. Look at him. 5-year-olds look like that. Come on. 5-year-olds look like that. Like...
Yeah, someone did a picture. This is original series, Alien Force Omniverse, and then the new series. So, can't you see, like, how much they've changed in between each one up to now? Yeah.
I hate animation. They just... You know what show I wish Cartoon Network would bring back? Hey Arnold. I love Hey Arnold.
They didn't have Hey Arnold on Cartoon Network. That's Nickelodeon.
Oh, well, it's an old show, so it's in the family. But, like, I love that show. If they were to do a spin-off, I think I might cry. Like, they can't ruin all the old shows. But, anyways, I guess animation, depending on how you feel about the changes between the characters, it's your opinion.
Let me give you a quick quiz. It's like one question.
Okay.
Okay. What network was Doug originally on?
Doug, I never watched that.
You never watched... You know what Doug is.
Doug? I don't...
Something about like, oh, Hey Arnold.
I love
like
Hey
you don't know
Arnold.
what Doug is.
I never watched that.
You never watched Doug?
No.
Hold on.
I never watched Doug.
Do you know who Pepper Ann is?
Let me see. Maybe. No, I never watched that.
You never watched Pepper Ann?
No.
Alright.
Man, I'm missing out on some good 90s shows.
Okay, you remember the Weekenders.
Let me see.
Hold up. Everybody's running and the world is just so crazy. People work so hard, there's no time to be lazy.
I never watched that either. Were these all late night shows? Like,
No, this was like back when we were kids. You ever watch Fillmore? Hold on.
No.
Stay tuned for
More content.